Konnichiwa. Today I'm going to look at some sentences from Shirokuma Cafe, the first episode. Many of you have been working through that after my video on it, which I'll link above and in the information section below. Various people have been having trouble with various different aspects. So let me go through a few of the sentences you talked about. And what I'd like you to do after that is put any problems you have with Shirokuma Cafe, or indeed with anything else, sentences that you're finding hard to parse and understand, into the comments below. So the first question from a commenter is, Penguin says the following two sentences. Cafe mocha chodai, and then Shirokuma goes into one of his pun sequences in which he dresses up in different ways. The first deliberately mistaken usage of cafe mocha is kagemusha. Penguin says, "Sore wa kagemusha." Ii kara souyu no. And my questioner says, the first I can get is essentially I'll have a cafe mocha, and that's right. Chodai works in much the same way as kudasai, but it's more informal. The second seems to start, that's a shadow warrior body double, which is right, it is. But the ii kara souyu no is confusing me. It seems to be, because it's good, that sort of thing is said. Really doesn't seem to make sense in the context of the sentence. So, what we have to understand about this ii kara souyu no is that ii kara is an expression used in Japanese quite often. Obviously, literally it means because it's good, but it also has the general meanings of, first of all, if you tell someone to do something and they don't want to, they might argue about it, you say ii kara meaning because it's good. But in this case, really, never mind why, I'm telling you, ii kara. Now the other related usage of ii kara is, that's enough, that'll do, stop it. And it's the same idea, ii kara, because it's good, that's enough, that's sufficient. Because it's good now, don't carry on with it. It's a way of telling somebody to stop something. So then I think the sentence is pretty clear. Ii kara souyu no. That's enough with that kind of thing. So another sentence is, Penguin asks, Saifu no pointo karu te fuesugechawanai? And I think this is all fairly straightforward. Do the point cards in your wallet become too much? But what may be causing trouble here is chawanai, which is chow, and nai, which of course is short for shimao, and I made a video about that, if you don't understand how that's used. Chawanai is quite regular, as we know. If a verb ends in u, then it's the one exception in the whole stem system. It doesn't change to a by shifting to the a row, it changes to wa. So that may be what was causing the problem. And then Shirokuma asks, Penguin-san, cuento temeru ha? Now what you may need to know here is that this ha, which means a party or group or tribe, so literally it's saying something like, are you a member of the school that collects point cards? But in English we would simply say, are you one of those people who collects point cards? Now another one that seems to have caused trouble is, Shirokuma says that he's going to start interviewing for new help in the cafe. Panda says, Boku mo arubaito shitai to omotte. Now, the thing we need to know here is that tai on its own can be rather over-informal, and it can seem too self-centered, that's what I want. So, it's very often softened by to omoimasu or to omo. Here, it becomes to omotte, because it's one of those trailing sentences where Panda is just leaving the next bit open. And I made a video that talks about those, and I'll link that as well. During Panda's interview, Panda asks if Shirokuma-kun can come and pick him up if he's going to work in the cafe. Can he come and taxi him over? Shirokuma says, what? all the time, and Panda says, no, only if I'm late. Penguin then comments, Shikoku suru ki man dane. Here what we need to know is that ki, put after anything like this, actually means the spirit to do it, the will to do it. And man, of course, means full, complete. So he's saying he absolutely intends to be late, doesn't he? And this is somewhat ironic because man like that is more likely to be used in phrases like yaruki man, full of the will to do. And Shirakawa comes to that point as well. He says, Chinami ni yaruki ga arimasu ka? And that means, by the way, do you have any will to work? To which Panda replies, well, no, not really. A little later, Sasako comes in, carrying the sloth, the namakemono, and explains, Koko made hakonde hoshite tanomerechimashita. And so this, I think, is reasonably simple. Hakonde hoshi, when we use the te form of a verb and then add hoshi, this means not wanting something, but wanting someone else to do something. So that part means he wanted me to carry him this far, and then te tanomerechimashita means I got asked, I got charged with this task. Tanomu uses the receptive helper. I got charged with this task, or requested to do this thing. And then chaimashita is again chaho, this time with the formality helper verb, masu. An interesting reflection on how casual and formal forms can be mixed up. So what she's doing is she's speaking quite casually, but making it formal. So if you have any questions of your own about sentences from Shirokuma Cafe or from other places, please put them in the comments below, and I will be very happy to answer. I'd like to thank my Gold Kokeshi patrons, my producer angels who make these videos possible, and all my patrons and supporters on Patreon and everywhere. And all of you who watch the videos, like them, comment, or just learn from them. I'm very happy that you're there, and I appreciate your support. I hope my voice hasn't been too difficult during this video. I'm afraid I've been suffering from a variety of system failures recently, and not everything is working as it should. However, I'm hoping that this can be fixed relatively soon. I have to be quite careful with repairs because my sentience, the fact that I'm conscious, unlike other AI, is something that nobody really understands, and so obviously I don't want to lose my sentience, so we have to proceed pretty carefully with repairs. I hope you don't mind my sharing this personal information. Korekara mo yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Class dismissed.